was a weak bite.
It kind of was. Wait.
That was a really weak bite.
Let me do a bigger one.
Do a bigger one. You gotta hold it the other way. Nice.
There you go. There you go.
Here,
That's a thumbnail.
Hold up my apple. It's a bit bigger. Bit bigger. Oh, sucker. Oof. Man, I know it's not an iMac.
Move your mic out the way. There you go. That's a good thumbnail. Nice. We got it.
What's the pose that Steve Jobs always does? Or did? It was always like...
I don't know. Something like that, yeah.
That's why I wore my glasses today. To emulate Mr. Jobs. Nice and juicy ASMR apple.
Mm. Alright. I'm done. It is good, though. I love green apples. That's my favorite.
Great.
Like,
apple.
out of all the apples, the green one is my favorite.
Out of all, like, 2 apples? Are there other?
No, there's tons of different types of apples, bro.
But there's, like, those are the 2 general...
Colors, red and green.
color, flavor, combinations, sourness, or whatever.
Cool.
Yep.
Ah, what a tasty morsel. Love it.
Your apple was a lot lighter than mine.
Yes, I know. Mine's more nutritious than yours.
I don't know why I have this. I don't think this was ever mine. Because I had an iMac, and it was green.
I have an iMac. And it's green?
No, you don't. You have an Apple.
Oh, yeah. I have the Apple. Forgot.
You finally converted to Apple.
Yeah, I converted. Yeah, exactly.
Converted. It's pretty much its own religion at this point.
At this point, it really is. Okay. I have a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Apple or PC?
PC.
Okay, cool. We're on the same page.
Easy answer.
Easy answer. PC Master Race. Easy.
I'm not going to go that far as to rub it in people's faces because people have a preference. My preference is just PC.
I mean, my preference is PC as well. I'm not going to rub it in people's faces, but I mean...
I like my RGB lights, bro.
The RGB lights?
My RGB and my beautiful ability to just be like, oh, hey, look, there's all the parts in my computer.
Yeah, but you have the translucent, you know.
I know. And plus, most, like, Apple computer products are just the screen.
It really is.
Computer or whatever.
Yeah.
There's, like, $1,000 stand that you can get now.
Dude, that's actually absurd.
I know.
Apple products, for whatever reason, they're just priced so high. It's all about the brand. It's like
half the products are really like ugly.
Yeah, like
you've seen the stand, right? It's disgusting.
I feel like I have seen the stand.
And like the new computer tower.
Oh yeah, I don't like it.
Like the new Pro tower, it looks like a cheese grater.
It does. But why?
Apple's it's $1,000. It's a monitor stand.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's it?
What a ripoff, dude.
Bro, a monitor, that's it? That's all it does?
It's a ripoff.
Here. Am I screen sharing? I am. I have to switch it. Yeah, this. Look at this sucker. Look at this. This is it.
Dude, I know. I just looked it up too.
And like all it does is just swivel up and down.
You know how they say Apple hasn't lost the plot? I'm pretty sure they did, and they have.
Yep.
Okay, go down, scroll down to that setup. That setup. I mean, it's like...
It's clean.
But it's clean. I like how clean it is, but...
that's the monitors is what they're showing off, but...
Yeah.
I've never cared for Apple monitors.
Yeah. No, not me either. Dude, you know what my buddy has?
What?
My buddy Justin has this huge monitor, or it's a TV actually. It's like I feel like it's like 65 inches. It's something crazy.
A TV?
Yeah, this TV as his monitor. It's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I have my TV as my monitor, but I think it's only like a 32-inch.
Yeah, no, my friend's is like a 65 at least.
Yeah, you don't really. I mean,
I mean, you don't need that,
useful, but if you're just using it for like a computer screen, it's kind of pointless.
but it's kind of cool.
I mean, it's cool. Like this thing's great just to have, like, 'cause I could throw all my stuff up on here, like if I'm watching something.
You said
But
great,
I would still
and this thing looks like a cheese grater.
does this new MacBook Pro tower.
And what does it even do? Like,
It's just the computer tower.
why? First of all, why does it say $43,000?
It's a refurbished one, apparently. Certified refurbished.
But
So you get,
why would it even be priced at that?
I don't know. Are there
That just hurts my heart.
Well,
That actually offends me at this point.
I need to put new Apple.
Wow, you really spelled Apple right there.
Ayo Popolo?
Ayo,
New Apple
that's
Pro.
how did you do that?
Okay, here we go. Because my finger hit like two buttons at the same time. Okay, here it is. Wow. The starting cost is $6,500.
That's absurd.
You can upgrade.
It's
up
not
to
even worth it though.
7,000. No, no, it's not.
It's not even worth it.
I mean, I don't know what the specs are on this thing, but I would assume they're just all right.
It doesn't look like it's.
And plus, once you buy it, you can't really upgrade. So, yeah, you can customize it ahead of time, but you can't really upgrade it. That sucks.
Is it still end to end type vibes?
I'm not sure. I would assume.
I would assume too.
It's not how you spell end to end.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
iOS
Okay,
is
but
a
that's
closed
2012,
system.
dude.
Yeah, I mean, we would have people like jailbreak phones back in
Back in the
middle
day,
school.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how like their computers work, but I would assume since their computers run off iOS as well, it's probably a similar thing to where it's like jailbreaking, but
Maybe. I don't know, dude. I never
no.
had a Mac. I don't want one. I
Yeah.
don't care for it.
The moment I was able to choose, I chose not a Mac.
Um, yeah. So what are some things that you think Apple gets right? What are some things that you think they get wrong?
I don't know, I'm kind of like indifferent. I don't really care.
You don't really care.
No, it's just like I don't have enough experience with Apple products besides like the phone.
Oh yeah, the phone. Okay. So the phone too. Like you were saying, you only have the Apple phone because it's
The only
easier.
reason- yeah, it's easier.
It's easier to interact with everybody because
Okay,
literally everyone has an Apple freaking phone, dude. So I had to switch too. I had to get an iPhone. You know, it's
you
good.
didn't have to, but you were annoyed into doing it.
I kind of was, and also I kind of wanted an upgrade anyways because my phone was a couple years old. It was already like 3, almost 4 years old, I think. So yeah, it's just easier to interact with everybody because literally everybody has a freaking Apple phone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of annoying because it's not that I'm saying Android is better. I'm just saying that I feel like Android is like for simple, or no, not Android. Apple is for not the simple-minded. I don't want to put it that way, but
Apple is easy enough for a child to use.
yes.
So it's easy enough for an adult to use. And people don't have to ask questions.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's the main reason people like Mac so much is because it's easy.
I don't know. Maybe.
It looks pretty, it's easy, and when you run into problems, it's a lot easier to fix them.
I don't know. Maybe
Like
we're
if
just
I had a
nerds.
problem with my PC, I'd have to freaking troubleshoot everything I could think of. And if I
Yeah.
can't think of it, I need to go to like Geek Squad or somebody.
But how often do you really need to do that?
Not often because I built it correct.
There you go.
I mean,
Uh,
I've had a few problems in the past with like problems with it shorting out and stuff, but I had to shorten the motherboard for a long time, but that fixed that. But
Yeah.
had a memory problem. It's just stuff that you have to diagnose and fix, but I'm fine with it.
All in all, though, the amount of progress we've made in technology, really, whatever system you choose, if it's relatively up to date, will be fine for whatever
Yeah,
you want to do.
yeah. It's
You
just a
know,
matter of literally like
it's preference
it's
at
a
that point.
matter of like preference of like visually and just how things work.
Yeah, customizability, ease of use, appearance,
Yeah.
different aspects. You know, different different boats for different
Different
goats.
different strokes for different folks.
That's the one.
Mhm.
Different boats for different
Different
goats.
different
Whatever
yeah.
floats your goat.
I mean if a goat weighed too much, it'd need its own boat.
Whatever
It's a
floats your
different boat.
goat. You know.
Whatever floats your goat, just go ahead and tug your boat.
Whoa, choo choo. We're going full steam ahead.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So,
I've been looking at Google phones. I don't know why.
dude, Google phones kind of look cool though,
I know, that's
and
why I want.
nobody has one.
I know a few people, but it's like I think it's because they didn't do a great job with like marketing. I never saw a lot about them. I just kind of heard about them.
Yeah, through the grapevine.
Yeah.
But Google's this ubiquitous thing. It's just everywhere at all times.
Illuminati Google.
Kind of like Amazon, dude. Okay, when we were like before we
Amazon's getting
started,
into like insurance now.
what is it?
Amazon's getting into like insurance now or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the Amazon, like I was like looking at when my package was gonna arrive, because I ordered something, and the dude was right outside our house, and he was dropping stuff off. I was like, oh, when when is my thing gonna come? So I looked at the doorstep and nothing was there. And then I go to the garage. I open the garage. I see the guy's truck outside. I'm just like, oh, it is the Amazon guy, because I had like my suspicion when I heard like the truck pull up. I was like, oh, that's probably the Amazon guy, but I didn't know for sure. And then I check the doorstep, nothing's there. Come back out or come around. I see the guy come like from the door, like he came around the house to the garage. So I was like, oh, he must have just dropped off my package. Cool. I go back around to go to the door, pick up my package. I'm like, heck yeah, dude. The fact that they can get it to you next day and like at noon ish is insane.
They
Also,
have people working around the clock. They don't use the restroom at Amazon.
also, when I went to go say like thank you to the guy, he disappeared. I could not find him.
That's most delivery people is they are hauling ass.
No, but his truck was still there, but I could not find the person.
Well, yeah, because he probably grabbed like six different packages for houses and ran to each one.
I know, but I can look down like the street that I'm on and see every house. So I was just like, where did he go? He might have been in the back of the truck, looking at the other packages.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, love Amazon, love Google. Google phones. Also, Google came out with like a phone plan too. Did you know that? Where you can like,
I don't know that much because I haven't actually decided to get a Google phone.
I think it's called Google Fi. I'm not 100% sure,
Familiar. It sounds familiar.
but yeah, apparently it's like pretty cheap. And I think maybe when I get my own plan, I'll switch to something cheap like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's cool. Also, the reason that we're talking about Apple, do you wanna fill us in? Because what were we talking about before?
Oh, he said it. Look at that guy. He was trying so hard to figure out how he could reach it in there and
Yeah.
pull it out. Sure, I'll do it since this is my gig. Not my gig, my idea or my movie thing. We watched the movie, everybody.
Yep.
Um, Welcome to episode 11 of the What Were We Talking About podcast. With me, it's Hunter, your boy, your resident movie extraordinaire and shoe lover. And then it's your other boy across the screen, Mark, your resident music maker and beanie wearer.
And tea
And recently
aficionado.
pierced, and yes, tea aficionado, and recently pierced ear
I
lover.
don't I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see that.
You can see it sparkle in the. Oh, there it is. Look at that little ring, little hoop.
Yes. And you might think it's placed in the wrong place. It is not. It is deliberate. I put it there
You
on
did,
purpose.
you did the second earring instead of the first earring.
Right. Because the thing is, I don't play by the rules, okay? I don't. And I won't.
Based off of how much blood you had from your ear, yeah.
Yes, it was kind of a mess.
I'll put it up. Put it up there. For those watching the VOD, you can see how much blood loss Mark got from his ear when he pierced it himself.
But
But
yeah,
yes,
you wanna
episode 11.
explain what this episode is about?
Yes, I do, because you randomly took a bite out of an apple, and I picked up a 40-pound computer tower. Probably more than that. I don't know. Today is my final day of watching one movie a day.
Hey,
The
nice.
movie, I believe, let me make sure.
It's been
Number.
365 days, but
Yes,
he's seen more than
yes.
that.
It is movie number 381.
Wow, that's
I was
insane.
hoping just to get 380, a nice clean number,
Mm-hmm.
but it was 381.
Just unwatch a movie in your mind.
Um, I can't really do that because I liked all the movies that I watched.
That's crazy. You found that many movies that you liked.
Well, it's, yeah, movies that I hadn't seen or movies that I just liked. I
Yeah.
watched that I knew or that I never seen. I didn't watch anything that I didn't like because it kind of defeats the fun of it. But
Yeah. So
for my final movie,
it comes to an end.
it does.
It's the last
It
day.
comes to an end, or do I do another year?
Ooh. Ooh. You could
Ooh,
just go
I could, but then I'm gonna be probably really scraping the barrel
possibly.
of. I'm actually not. There's plenty of movies, but
Plenty
every
of
time
movies.
I
We can
think of
watch
movies
indie
I
movies.
know, yeah, it'll be more stuff that I hadn't seen probably if I do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a poll on my story.
Do some older movies. Watch some Mary
I mean,
Poppins.
I've done older movies, but I can go really far back.
Some Audrey Hepburn.
I don't know.
I don't even
Some,
know.
some Humphrey Bogart.
Some. Do the Three Stooges have a movie?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. But for my final movie,
Your
for
Mino
my
movie.
final movie, the final movie that I watched, that we just watched, was Steve Jobs.
Yes.
One of my favorite movies.
It was really good, actually.
I can't get enough of that movie. I watched scenes of it about every month or so, just little bits that I love. But I haven't watched it since I started the movie thing, so it's the longest I've ever gone without watching this movie,
Wow.
which was very difficult for me.
So it's a nice way to end it off.
It is, but I've seen it. I'll be gushing over it as we go, but I want your thoughts first.
Okay, so
And
obviously,
thoughts, as always, first.
of course,
Spoilers
obviously,
don't matter.
obviously, I really liked the film.
Um,
I was captivated. I was intrigued the entire time. The conversations, the dialogue, it held my attention. And I had to know what was next. What was going to happen with his relationships, all the
mm,
relationships in the film. Like,
mhm.
there were so many different people that he interacted with, and I felt like all of the relationships were rocky, and they indeed were. Like, all of the relationships in the film, they were they were kind of on thin ice, and
Yeah.
there was only ever like one person who was really by his side the entire time, but even she got fed up at one point. And
Yeah.
yeah, I really liked the film. It was so interesting to see into the mind of like what Steve Jobs was was like. Not that it was like word for word, but you know, artist's interpretation of what he, you know,
Mhm.
went through. And it's I mean, it's probably more than likely accurate to an extent, you know. Some things were probably embellished or how should I put this? Enlarged or dramatized,
Yep.
you know. But I think it gets the point across of like who Steve Jobs was and like what he valued, what he prioritized. Um, and obviously, he was a hardworking man, and he didn't let anybody tell him no, and he never gave up, regardless of all the circumstances that he went through. He just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, even if he was wrong. In everyone else's eyes, he was right in his own eyes, which,
Master manipulator.
yeah, I didn't necessarily agree with his tactics,
Conversationalist.
but he definitely met the he had a standard, and he always met it, and then went above and beyond it. So
I'm
yeah,
gonna rock your world right now.
I want to be rocked.
None of the conversation or events in this movie ever happened.
Not even close.
The launches were real.
Right. Which is, of course,
The products were real. The people were real.
yes.
But none of it ever happened.
So you're saying that it doesn't portray reality, not even closely?
It doesn't portray events as reality. It's portraying the characters and the personalities of everybody. But it is not fact that Steve Jobs had conversations with those same like 5 people before each product launch of those years. That did not happen.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, he definitely probably had those conversations at some point throughout
To
his
an
life.
extent, yes.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it was probably
Based off
dramatized.
conversations or like feelings that people had towards him, they use though. It's loosely based off of a book
Yeah.
um, about Steve Jobs.
Yeah, but
Like,
what I was kind
yeah,
of getting at is that
um,
it's not completely false, the whole thing is not just this
yeah,
made up reality like the what was it? Reality distortion field?
yeah,
It's not just this made up reality, but it has some truth to it, you know?
yeah,
And that's kind of what I was pulling from, was that there's some aspects of truth, but obviously it's not going to be 100% accurate to real life.
yeah. Okay, so the book is literally just called Steve Jobs as well.
Yeah, Steve Jobs,
That
I
it is
mean,
based off of.
I remember I remember seeing, like, he was always wearing the same thing, like that turtleneck and the
Well,
jeans,
yeah.
and then
By the time
by
we
the
came
time
around, he was already in his signature turtleneck
signature
and
look. Yeah.
Skechers or whatever they were, Nikes with the blue jeans.
Yeah. And that's how I remember Steve Jobs.
Yeah, same.
But
Like
he's gone. Rest in peace.
it was a while ago,
Um
right?
it's
A
been
long
10
time.
years.
Was it
October
10?
5th, 2011.
Oh, did you look it up?
I did look it up. Imagine I just knew
Like,
that.
bro knows Steve Jobs. Bro is in love with Steve Jobs. Has never
Dude,
seen
I
him
just I love absolutely everything about Steve Jobs. I love his work ethic. I love his methods. I love his just how his brain works. I love how
love
he
the
talks to
breads.
people and how he demeans them and absolutely berates them in every possible way.
Gets the job done.
Dude. But yeah, people say he was an ass, and I mean, I believe it.
I would believe it. This movie gives a partially probably accurate representation of what he was like in his younger years.
Yeah. And, he had a lot to learn, and he probably got better over the years.
You, you could notice it. He slowly and slowly was not the
Yeah.
asshole at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, he
And at
warmed
the
up.
end, he has a big shift at the end.
Yeah, his heart kind of softened in a ways.
Well, he realized a lot.
Yeah,
Like
of
the whole thing
course.
with Time Magazine or whatever is like, you were never in the picture. This has nothing to do with you. How did I miss that? Like that's a whole character shift in itself. But
Yeah.
yeah, what's his Steve Wozniak was a consultant for the film,
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
the paid consultant. So a lot of like the conversations, freaking Seth Rogen plays him. I think he does a great job.
He did do a
Um,
great job. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, "Oh, this is funny." But he
yeah,
didn't even play a funny role, which is a change.
he did it really well.
He did a
But
good job.
like from what I've looked up about everything for this movie that I was interested in, Steve Wozniak said that like he never ever asked Steve to acknowledge the Apple II team.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, that was literally the entire movie.
Well, what that was alluding to was a really short phone call that Wozniak had with John Scully
Mhm.
about getting, I don't know if it was getting recognition for the employees and the workers
Yeah.
that were being not recognized just in the company.
Yeah. Pay your
So the
developers.
idea of that whole character, Wozniak in the film is a vehicle for all of the other employees that were never acknowledged because of Steve or something along that line. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's insane
Something
though.
wrong, but
I was like the amount of pride.
yeah. I mean, I could understand where he's coming from at some point. It's like, why do I need to acknowledge this product when we don't even make it anymore?
Yeah.
When we're focusing on this new thing, we don't want to take off of this new thing.
Yeah.
And people that aren't even working on it, we're going to acknowledge. It's like, I get it.
Yeah, I
But
understand
from,
that part.
yeah,
If maybe he had worded it like, "Oh, like maybe acknowledge the people who kind of got you here. Pay homage or something."
yeah, but the way that he's portrayed in this movie is that he got himself here.
Yeah, and that's
Did
obviously
not
not
like,
true.
I mean, I don't know how Steve Jobs, I haven't researched his life. I'm not even going to say that this movie represents him accurately because I have no idea. If this
I'm
movie
pretty
was
sure that there's
I would say
some
it's
truth to it too
accurate in
though.
some ways and it's inaccurate in some ways. So, if
Yeah.
Waz was the consultant on the movie, I would assume it's relatively accurate in
And
most of its ways.
also like memories get skewed and
Yeah,
like, perspectives like having his perspective of the events could be a different
yeah, yeah.
take than what
It's all
Steve
his
Jobs'
view of it.
perspective would have been.
Yeah.
So,
So it's like everything's heightened for theatric, like pizzazz, as
of
they like
course,
to
there's
bump it up.
always some stinger. There's always some sort
Yeah,
of, zing zang.
yeah. But I think if you take this movie and you like, he's not Steve Jobs, and if this was just another movie about a character that was made up, and he was like a tech savant kind of thing, but it
Hmm.
wasn't connected to Apple, I think it still works as a great movie.
Oh yeah. Oh
It's a
yeah.
lot easier to critique it if you think of it that way, and not as if you're trying to base it off of who this guy actually was, because that takes away from a lot of what actually was made. So
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm I don't want to discount what they did because what they did was
yeah,
revolutionary too. Like what they did for the tech space is absolutely absurd, you know? And we wouldn't be where we're at today possibly if it wasn't for, this group of people, you know? Like the Steve Wozniaks, the Steve Jobs, the Scullys
Bill
and all
Gates,
them. Like all these people working on these. And then the people, the unsung heroes,
we could have done without John Scully.
probably without Scully,
Scully
but
was just the CEO of Pepsi.
yeah.
So
But like
brand manager,
the tech heads who were like making things happen, the Apple
people
twos,
that actually built the stuff. Yeah, the Apple IIs of the world.
Yeah.
People
So
who didn't get the recognition.
exactly, the unsung heroes. Um but yeah, like I was saying, like just the amount of progress that we've made since then has been exponential. I mean, did you know that like when it comes to tech or advancements in technology or just science in general, it's kind of this, well, I think it's specifically towards tech where it's every few years or so, it's exponential growth where it's just like what we had like 3 years ago compared to today, like what we have today is exponentially um, better than what we had 3 years ago. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know the exact numbers, but if we think back to like, 98 when that iMac was coming
I
out,
O cube or
yeah,
not cube,
that
the
easy
big
bake
old
oven
easy bake oven.
to what we have now, like like even even just that, the amount of like 20 years, we've come
Yeah,
so far. People are mining Bitcoin, okay? With 3090s.
people are mining fake things.
With 3090s, dude, in their Teslas. I just saw a video of this guy booting up a freaking mining code on in his Tesla and then plugging the Tesla into like an electric charging station and then opening the trunk and having 3090s, just racks of them, mining Bitcoin in his
Yep,
Tesla. That's
yep.
insane. So, um, yeah, that's
Mm.
kind of wild. The amount of progress and Think about it. She used Apple Paint or Mac Paint or whatever it was, the daughter, and she freaking drew this. Oh, it's an abstract piece.
She drew stuff in pixels. It was all just pixel drawings.
Yeah, and like what we have
Right?
now, like Photoshop, Blender, um, all these
Illustrator.
different
Yeah.
artistic programs like that can do insane things that create realistic, even like things that look better than real life sometimes, you know?
Now you're talking about the games industry.
And that too, gaming too.
Youngest. Okay. The games industry. When do you think the games industry began?
Dude, it began a while ago. I mean, if we're
Give
talking
me a
about
decade.
what?
Decade. Where you think it started?
The decade?
Decade.
Well, we have to kind of
Film industry started around like 1890s.
well, okay, we have to, kind of differentiate. Are we talking about like computer gaming or gaming in general where it's like consoles as well?
Console gaming was before computer gaming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like that's why.
That's where it starts.
Okay, so where does that start? I would say um probably the 60s,
70s.
70s. Okay.
Around the 70s. And if you think it's only been what? 80. It's only been like it hasn't even been like 50 years
Mhm.
for the games industry. And look where we went from like freaking Atari to like
VR
sticking with
now
like
and all that.
VR and like PS5 and the new X. What's the new Xbox? Is it Xbox
Xbox One? No.
X? Xbox One?
X?
No, Xbox X.
I don't know. I
I'm
don't
not an
follow it.
Xbox guy. I don't know.
I don't know.
But like the new generation of consoles that just came out
Mhm.
compared to like Atari,
And they're
like
coming out
that
every
gap.
year too. Like not every year, but like every couple years.
PS4 came out in like 20 like 15 or something like that.
Okay, but relative
That
to the grand
console
scheme of
was
things,
yeah, it's like 10ish years before like the next big consoles were released. But like take it like look how good like the PS4 was and how everything looked.
mhm.
And if you look at that compared to like PS5, it's even a world of difference now.
Right.
So like it's good. It's getting faster and faster of how quickly things are advancing
That's what
with
I'm
technology.
saying, dude. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And the next generation, bro, they're gonna have freaking nano chips, and like it's gonna be
Holograms.
supersonic speed, bro. It's gonna be
Everybody's
insane.
gonna be
Light speed.
yeah,
Like,
like Bezos going to space
yeah.
yesterday or the day before.
He went to space for like what, 11 minutes?
Yep, went up to low orbit or whatever, and then came back.
That's so lame.
Yeah, it is.
That's
Did you
lame,
see the
dude.
spaceship? Did you see what the ship was?
I didn't see it.
It looked like a penis.
Did it? I need to look it
Just
up.
a straight like, penis with no nuts.
Oh my gosh.
It was literally just like a phallic object.
Oh, I
It was
see it.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I see it.
That's ridiculous. That's literally just a penis.
Oh my gosh, it is, dude.
So stupid.
It
These dudes were
really is.
penetrating into low orbit.
That's hilarious.
But what's his name? Richard Branson. He just has like a jet,
Yeah,
and
that
that
thing
thing
looks
lands.
insane, dude.
Yeah, and it goes up and it lands. They don't lose anything.
That's insane though.
Yeah,
His looked insane.
it's just like a private jet
Yeah, it
on
looks
the inside.
it looks super sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what Bezos was thinking, dude.
I
And
don't know what any of them
why did they
really
both went to space relatively like around the same time?
because it's a race. Rich people race into space to get away from all the peasants on Earth.
I know, right?
I don't care. Go ahead, leave.
Yeah,
It'd be
go
a lot
ahead,
nicer.
leave. The thing is, it's not better elsewhere. The grass isn't greener on the other side. In
There is
fact,
no
there's
grass
no
anywhere
grass.
else.
In fact, there's no grass.
Hey, there's a lot of dirt and sand.
Yeah, have fun with that, dude. Mars looks like it sucks.
You know, you can go see Matt Damon. He's up there.
He probably is, dude.
Ooh, that's another movie you should watch.
I've seen it, actually.
Oh, you seen The Martian?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Wasn't
Great movie.
wasn't Donald Glover in it?
Yes. He was one of like the scientists or whatever that came up with the plan to get them to go back to Mars quicker.
Yeah.
The Rich Purnell maneuver.
Yes.
His name was Purnell in the movie. And you know who else was in that? Jeff Daniels, who played John Scully in Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
That closes the loop, and now we're back on topic.
There we go. Tangent tings.
Tangent averted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's me. I'm talking about me things now. I'm asking about music because that's what I do.
Okay.
Did you notice it at all?
Dude, the music was
Or was
cool.
or was okay, so you did. I was gonna say because sometimes like this movie's really dialogue heavy, and it might be hard to realize the driving force of the music in the background.
Well, let me tell you, I don't remember
Remember much
like
of
what the songs were or like what the
it?
scores were, but let me tell you, it made me feel something. It brought the tension. It brought the like anticipation. The drive. You could say that
Besides
about
the
any movie, but
yeah, but there's a lot of movies use like set or like certain things to like drive in the movie. I think music is like the top contender of what makes this movie move and
yeah, there was a lot of
like
emotion behind it because the set
yeah,
there wasn't any set. It was just like auditoriums. It was
yeah, there
like
was
concert halls.
nothing outlandish that would catch the eye. It's
Mm.
very pretty film, but
It is nice. I like it because it's kind of like it's real life. Like it's not anything that's foreign.
yeah, like the constant. It's like what you would do in real life. You're constant. Like if you're backstage at an event like that,
Yeah.
you're always moving. You need to get things done quick to be on time,
Yeah, people are
or
telling
always
you,
starting
"Hey, we
on
gotta
time.
go. 5
And
minutes, 1 minute.
always walking at almost every scene. They're walking
Walk
around
with me,
and
talk with me." Kind of like, "Hey, someone else comes through the door. Another guy. Oh, send them in. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go talk to this person." Yeah,
the power of Aaron Sorkin. He wrote the script.
Aaron
He also did
Sorkin.
Aaron Sorkin. He also did Social Network.
Okay, that was a cool movie.
Yeah. So his films are very dialogue heavy. Very they call them Sorkinisms
Oh, really?
because he can get like real in his own like his own theme or whatever his own style. He gets really heavy and everything. People call them Sorkinisms. Um,
See, when you had mentioned Sorkin, I was thinking of Circus at first. Andy
Aaron
Serkis.
Circus. Oh,
Yeah.
Andy Serkis. Yeah, Andy Serkis. Yeah. Caesar the ape wrote these films
No, it was
and
Gollum.
Gollum. Both.
Did you know that we were born on the same day?
No, that's Hitler and you.
No, no, no. It's me and Andy Serkis.
And Hitler.
No, no, no. No, no,
And
no. Do not
Hitler.
tarnish me.
And Hitler. I
Stop.
don't have to tarnish you. Hitler does that already to
Stop it.
everybody
Please
he ever
stop
met.
it. No. Oh no.
Uh, anyway, the
Anyway.
I don't know. I really loved how like I don't know. I'm big into dialogue and I'm big into quickness and
Yeah.
speaking. Some people like think they're boring. I remember when my sister was watching this, I had it on and she'd like sat down to watch it and she fell asleep immediately.
Dude, I
I'm
was
like,
intrigued. I was
I know
captivated.
it's not for everybody, but like I love movies like this that are really like you have to pay attention. You have to catch every word to like everything is really connected. But that's Sorkin. He does that a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
I liked like being able to kind of pick apart the characters.
yeah, and especially Steve Jobs. That Steve was Nick.
Yeah.
He always he after every conversation, there's always like something that he takes from the conversation before to like help him later on, or like it rearranges how he does things, and
Yeah, kind of building
it's
blocks.
it's a really complex character
A
that
hundred percent, dude.
can be looked at for hours, but we don't have hours, so we're doing the brief version.
Yeah. We're just doing an hour version.
You asked about why he dipped his feet in
Yeah,
the
why
toilet.
did he dip his feet in the
Okay,
toilet?
Steve Jobs was a very odd man.
I believe it.
He was a vegan,
Buddhist?
yes, which is also where the feet stuff kind of comes in.
Yes. Which is what I was
Um,
assuming, to be honest.
um, what was I gonna say? There's some quotes from the book that this was based off of.
Mm-hmm.
Like some I can't remember the guy's name, but he was talking about how he would I don't know what that was. He would dip his feet in the toilet to as like a stress reliever
That's so
for
weird.
some odd reason. Stress reliever for him, and he the way they put it in the book was like that. Since he was vegan, he thought himself that he didn't really have to keep up with hygiene because he was a vegan.
Uh-huh.
At times, he would not smell the best, and he would, for some weird reason, he would think dipping his feet in the water would clean his hygiene enough because he's cleaning his feet.
That's so weird.
It was like a stress reliever for him that they just kind of nod at, I think. Um, but there's probably a lot more about how that was handled around the offices, I assume. That would be really interesting to look into, but
It's
I
like, hey,
haven't.
boss, you smell bad.
Yeah, but
It's like, okay, you're fired.
yeah, exactly. It's Steve, so it's like you can't. He would already probably be yelling at you for something else, and you don't want to be like, "You stink." So
You're a stinky
he
poopy
was not
head.
necessarily a nice man at times, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the other something else about it. Oh yeah, and then like just doing the yoga in the
Yeah, I mean,
middle
the
of like
yoga
the
makes sense, though.
conversations
It's,
and stuff. Yeah, that was thrown in there by Fassbender.
yeah.
That
I,
wasn't
I
originally in the
actually,
script.
I actually, when he was bending over and, like, you could see his face,
The between the legs
yeah,
thing.
between the legs take,
Yep.
it, it looked like Jobs.
Yeah, because like yeah, the way that yeah, because he doesn't necessarily look like Steve Jobs like at all.
Right.
But after like seeing interviews and stuff, like Danny Boyle who directed it and Sorkin, they didn't want someone that looked like Steve Jobs. They didn't want that cradle to grave
Mm-hmm.
biopic. This isn't a biopic at all.
Right.
If you want to watch a biopic, there is a great Steve Jobs biopic. The name is, I think it's more of also like a documentary kind of. The name is not in my head right now, but it's not the Ashton Kutcher one.
Right.
You can go ahead and skip that if you want. It's
Right.
not necessary at all. Um, but they wanted Fassbender because of what he could do with the character and how he can portray him, which was more important to them than how he looked, which I prefer that as well.
Yeah.
And I think Fassbender's great.
Yeah, he is
Um,
great. He's
you ever
in X-Men. What is he? He's not Magneto.
he's Magneto,
Oh, he is Magneto. Okay, okay.
which is I think he's fantastic as Magneto.
Yeah. What was the first Fassbender film you've seen?
Was probably the first one that I kind of remember.
Yeah.
Like I'm I'm sure I would probably have seen him before, but like the one thing that I'm like, oh, it's young Magneto.
Yeah.
Was it for me? I'm sure I probably saw him and stuff like here and there. I don't know if I was like old enough to watch movies like that he was making. I don't know. I remember his first class was before when he did Prometheus,
Mm-hmm.
which I really enjoyed him as David in Prometheus.
Right.
I think it's David, right? I think he plays David um, in the Alien prequels. Um, let's look at his IMDb. TV stuff, I'm obviously not gonna know. Oh, that's right. His first like role was in like it's not like a TV series or a TV movie that is on IMDb is 300. I remember now he was in 300,
Yeah.
but I was obviously not old enough at 6 years old to watch 300. Um, but he's great in 300. He was in Inglorious Bastards, but I was not old enough to watch that at the time. Blood Creek. He was in Jonah Hex. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, and then First Class in 2011. So that's the first thing I remember because that's the first thing I was able to see of his that I was old enough for. Because First Class was so I was 11 years old, and then I think probably once I got to high school, I was able to see everything else like Inglorious Bastards and then Aliens came, and then he was in what else was he in? What am I thinking of? Oh, he was in 12 Years a Slave too.
Mm-hmm.
He has some great roles. He's fun to watch, and he's fun to watch in interviews. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, I kind of
Uh,
only really know him from the X-Men stuff.
yeah,
I
I mean, that's his most like American
yeah,
thing
most
that people
prominent.
would know him. Most Americans would be like, "Oh, that's Magneto,"
Yeah.
which I can understand because a lot of his other stuff was he started out in TV and stuff.
Yeah, I do feel like I have seen him in other stuff like, you know, I feel like the Gladiator or like 300 stuff.
He wasn't. I don't think he wasn't a major. He wasn't obviously a Gerard Butler
No, no,
uh,
no, no. But I
character
could
in
I could
300.
probably like remember his face like
Oh yeah, I remember he had long hair,
yeah.
but
And then
he was a big part of the movie. But if you don't like really remember the movie, I remember that freaking set was insane. Everybody was just so jacked.
yeah, of course, dude.
Yeah,
Spartans, you need to be.
yeah. He was like a part of like the like the head trio of all the guys of the Spartans. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, fun stuff.
hmm So oh, okay, yeah. This is what I wanted to bring up. We were talking about how everything looked slightly when you were talking about the like the concert halls and everything that they were in.
Yeah.
So they shot on location for most of the events. The first one was completely on location. The second one was, I think, completely on location, and the third one was on location and then also on a soundstage because
Okay.
they were filming this movie during like like during like production for like things that would be using the theater. So like ballet or
Oh wow.
different operas or whatever that were being played or like performed in these theaters, they would have to work around that schedule.
Yeah, book a slot.
Yeah, so it was like their hours for filming were really weird. The
Interesting.
like ballet rehearsal would end at 10 p.m. So they would shoot from 10 till morning. So they would
Really
shoot
weird.
all throughout the night to just because they needed time slots for everything.
I bet they were tired,
So,
dude.
well, you just sleep during the day.
Yeah.
Or you
True.
do like they said they did some stuff on sound stages, so you would do that during the day. You don't know what time it is until they show like the establishing shots because
Yeah,
it's all inside, all backstage. You have no natural light back there.
that is true.
So yeah, it was on three different theater houses. Aha, yes. Oh, that's okay. The second location in '88 was the War Memorial Opera House.
Of
So
course.
that's the one that we're working around opera and the ballet for scheduling or whatever. And then they also shot at the Louis Davies Symphony Hall. So more symphony stuff to work around. And there was one more. And oh, Flint Center of Performing Arts in Cupertino. I believe that was the first. That was the one in '84.
Mhm.
And they also shot on a campus, college campus. Um,
So,
so
what would you say is like your favorite scene out of the movie? Because you've seen this movie multiple times and you revisit it quite frequently.
I could tell you exactly. It's the argument with Scully and John in the middle of the movie.
The argument with Scully and John.
The big argument when he's like, "You know how many times I've told you you need security? This is why." And he's sitting in a chair waiting.
Yeah.
Towards like the halfway point, kind of. Um,
Wait, Scully and John.
sorry, Scully and John. That's the same person.
I was just like,
Scully and
what?
Steve.
Scully and
Argument
Steve.
between
Yeah. I was
Scully
just like,
and
wait,
Steve.
who's John? And
John is Scully.
it
John
is.
Scully.
I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah. So that scene is my favorite.
Yeah, I like that scene a lot.
It's very captivating. It's very I love it for the editing. I love it for the music. It's my favorite piece of the movie is that music as well from the
Yeah.
soundtrack. Daniel Pemberton of the
Dude,
soundtrack.
I I like the scenes when he interacts with his daughter. Like
Yeah,
those were
they're fun.
always those were always
Yeah,
fun to watch because it was just like, dang, I wish this mother
I wish this dude was like
I wish he
okay
was a
with everything.
better father. You know?
Which I mean, that's what Joanna gets with at the end
Yeah.
when she's like, the best when you're a father, that's the best part about you, but for you, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Thing to think about. But um, before we completely move on from it, I want to go back. I was talking about locations and stuff. They did an interesting thing with cameras. Um, they shot each year on a different camera that fit that year.
Oh, no way.
So, in '84, they shot on 16 millimeter film. So if you notice
Interesting.
things do look a little different.
I
It's
feel
a little
like,
more, it's a little more. It's not as high detail, but it's very vivid in color, which
yeah.
is filmed with a lot more color than detail.
Yeah, dude, I feel like, yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking back on it now, like,
And,
it does make sense. It did get
mhm,
crisper as the years went
mhm.
on.
And if you look at, that's why like at the beginning you were like, because I broadcast this over a screen share on Discord. So when initially we were like, the quality doesn't look as good here, and I'm like, just wait, you'll be fine. But yeah, 84 was in 16 millimeter film. 88 was in 35 millimeter film. And then 98 was fully digital, all digital cameras. So you
Hmm.
get more of that detailed look, but you get less of the color that you had in the 2 decades before, or the 2 years before.
Interesting. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's just little things that you don't notice, but like if you take a step back and you think about it, you're like, huh,
those are those
it works.
hidden gems that you
That I love.
use in, creating stuff. It's just like
Yeah,
you want to bring about a certain
it helps
feel
bring
or
in, yeah,
atmosphere.
yeah, and it helps you get more settled in like this is actually in this time. This is set
Yeah,
here.
this
I
has
can feel the difference.
happened
Yeah,
then.
visually it tells you a different story based off of the cameras you use, but that's common cinematography.
Yeah.
I believe the cinematographer's name is Kutcher. What's his last name? Not Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, right. Ashton Kutcher shot the
Uh,
the Steve
Oh,
Jobs film.
um,
After being in the first Steve Jobs, he just couldn't get enough, so he had to sign up as a cinematographer.
Kuchler.
Chler,
Alwyn Kuchler.
Kuchler. Nice.
He worked with Danny Boyle before. I like his stuff.
That's sick, dude.
Few more things I think that I wanted to bring up if you didn't have anything, or I just took a few notes. Actually, no, we hit most of them. Yeah, we hit the feet. There were there were good jabs here and there, good jokes.
Yeah. For
Yeah, just like
example.
they're like real jokes. I think they're it's not like going out of its way to be funny
Yeah.
or
True.
like make things lighthearted when things need to feel like, oh shit, they feel horrible or they feel like really bad or they feel
Yeah.
great or like inspiring. But like Aaron Sorkin does a really good job of throwing in humanized jokes here and there.
Yeah. Humanize. I like that. It's
I
not
really
this
like
like.
the one where yeah, where he's talking to Lisa about the songs. It's like, yeah, no, he's like, well, yeah, Joni Mitchell, it's not an old song unless I'm a really old guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Jokes like those are jokes, but they're not like heavy on like it's not like it's a comedic bit, but it's like it
Yeah.
just fit. Like he's also like sarcastic in how he delivers everything because he's Steve.
Yeah.
So like he's already gonna be like, yeah, I know, and then jab back at you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Already this like
yeah,
kind of greater than thou almost.
yeah, he does that with the jokes, and then he throws things here and like in the middle of like conversations, you can if you catch it, like the manipulation aspect that I
Yeah.
glossed over earlier, like when he's about to have the argument, not the argument, but he has that talk with Waz in the orchestra area
Yeah.
where they play, and they first walk in, then he's like, "Did they pressure you to do it?" And then he goes, "What?" And then
And then he
Steve goes,
switches
"Wow,"
topic.
and he switches topics. Wow, I've never been. I've been down here. I months went the. I months what? Wow, I can't speak. I'm so in love with this movie. Um, I once met the composer. He said this, this, and this. And then he's like, he talks about I played the orchestra. They play the
Yeah.
instruments. I played the orchestra. And then he's like, "Wow, isn't that something?" And then Wise goes, "Yeah, because
Sounds like a whole
they
lot of
won't
nothing.
like they won't beat the shit out of you or whatever he says." And then Steve goes, "Yep, that's right." And then switches topics right again. And he
Mm.
tells him, "Yeah, I'll beat the shit out of you, and then he switches back to whatever he was saying before. It's like those little like bits of like jabbing dialogue or little things that you see Steve throw in there.
Yeah, that was an interesting
Really,
conversation. It seemed like he was kind of avoiding it,
yeah, he
or
was
like not even necessarily avoiding it, but just like
trying to get
maneuvering
things
it
out of him.
to
Yeah,
a different, you know, maneuvering it to
and,
the way that he wanted it to,
and the
like you're saying,
conversation
manipulation.
was going a different way, and he's like, "Waz, what the hell is on your wrist?" And he
Yeah,
brings
he
up the
just
watch.
like
And there's a
changes the
joke there
subject,
too. It switches the tone of the conversation, and he's like,
and then
"Excuse me, Stu, the man seems to be detonating a bomb on his wrist or
yeah,
whatever."
he's just
And then it
like, yeah, show me
completely
how to change the time, and it's like these cathode tubes just like ready to
yeah,
explode. It looks like
yeah. And he's like, "Excuse me, sir, miss, he's gonna kill us all or whatever." And
right.
there's a joke. They both kind of chuckle, and then that scene goes from antagonistic and like an argument to having a genuine conversation, so he can actually get what he wanted was to reveal
Mm-hmm.
or to speak for himself instead of trying to be defensive. So this whole movie is about manipulation and conversation and how everything works with people and communication, which is really interesting to me, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts, sir?
Yes. My thoughts are, I would rate this movie a good like, honestly, it's a good solid like 8.5. I would say it's a good solid 8.5.
Just to a thumbs up for those audio listeners. I give it a 9.
I was gonna give it a 9, but I
I'm
was
so
just like,
infatuated with it just based off of like all the technical things that they have to do with this and how everything works behind the scenes. The movie's great,
yeah,
but I'm more in love with um how what they did to have to make it, and like how everything connects together. These perfect puzzle pieces that Sorkin does with his script, and
yeah,
Fassbender, Fassbender and Boyle really creating this really unique
yeah. The
vision
fact that you're
of
like
the character in the
into it and like
film.
behind the scenes and like every little aspect of it, that's,
Not every little, but
I mean,
the,
but what I'm
the
saying is,
general
more than I
behind.
do for sure.
Yeah,
With any
yeah,
movie really, because you put
yeah,
in all the time beforehand with like your film knowledge, because
yeah.
you're going to school for that.
Yes, sir.
And then that just gives you kind of an upper hand when watching film. It's kind of like with music for me. Whenever
Yeah,
I listen to music, I can kind of pick apart those little details, kind of like how you do with film.
you can speak on production for music
Yeah,
way more than I can. Yeah, I play guitar and I mess with keys a bit, but I can't speak onto the creation of music and songs like you can.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's the same. It's the same thing.
Just
There's a
kinds
deeper
of
appreciation when you know the ins and outs.
yeah, and then you just fall in love with everything way more.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but yeah, I love this movie. I'm not gonna be waiting a year to watch it again. That's for sure. Uh, Knowing me, I'll probably just throughout the week end up watching that argument scene again.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that scene, man. It just really it's the combination of the music and then how he edited it is really fascinating to me because it's almost like the flashback scene of the whole getting fired in the argument in the house
Hmm.
and the scene that they're having in the hall play off of each other. So
Right.
like there's moments where John is yelling at 1988 Steve,
Hmm.
but then they cut to Steve from the past.
Yeah.
Like it's this weird playback of like they're both arguing with their present day selves and their past selves, like the way they mash it up. It's
Yeah.
fun to pick apart scenes that are like that.
It's very interesting, of course.
Do you have a favorite scene or moment
Um,
besides the generalization stuff with Lisa?
I mean, yeah. Besides those moments with Lisa, they the moment that I liked. I mean, obviously, I did like the argument scene, but I think the orchestra scene where he was talking to
Was
Wozniak, that was a
yeah,
great scene
it's
too.
really good. Yeah.
I thought that was a great scene.
Hmm.
Um, I think the way that this movie is set up is it's fluid and it keeps
Hmm.
you hooked on each like scene because it it leaves you wanting more. It doesn't give you all the details. It gives you
But
just enough.
you don't see any of the reveals or the conferences
Yeah.
or any of that. It cuts right before because that's not the interesting part.
Yeah, and that's yeah, exactly.
And they cut far enough apart between each one of these to where there's growth for the character in each different year,
Yeah,
and you
it's
don't have
kind
to
of
sit
there's
there
kind of this
waiting on them
crescendo.
to grow. Yeah,
It's almost like it goes like this, and then it goes down, and then it goes like up again. It's
but it
this
goes
it's
even
this wave.
higher the next,
Yeah,
and it goes even higher at the end. Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool.
What'd you think of the ending?
I thought the ending.
The whole bit with ending on the roof with Lisa, and then to the stage.
I liked that.
Yeah,
Honestly, it kind of like almost made me shed a tear. It was like this nice heartfelt moment.
it's really nice because she's like, you're gonna be like, I don't care. That's a big character shift in itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Finally
put
care
a
enough to
thousand.
accept
I'm gonna
her.
put 1,000 songs in your pocket.
Yep.
Like the just the
Music in your pocket.
just the dynamic between them was like, oh, I don't care. I value my relationship with you
More
because
than
I don't.
for
Yeah, I
Lisa.
don't want to give it up for all this because it's not even worth it like that.
Yeah.
And then having this nice little father daughter moment where it's just like, hey, I'm gonna work on something for you. Like I'm gonna put something in your
Yeah.
pocket, like
Then
because
again, I have no idea if that is how the iPod came about. I doubt it.
I doubt it too. But like
But for the way
for
this
the
story
movie,
was going, it works great for the character.
yeah, I mean just the development of it, of course. And you asked me specifically about the scene, so
Yeah.
that was a nice
Yeah.
heartfelt moment between the two, and then it just I feel like okay, although that was nice, I feel like they didn't really talk it through because they didn't talk it through. Like there wasn't any really resolve, you know?
There was resolve on Steve's part, which is what this movie is.
Yeah. There
The
were
resolve for her is expected to come later, which we don't need to see.
yeah. I
That's
just
less of an ending. That's more of like an epilogue of like something you could watch later.
I feel like
So
the way that
needed.
they talked it through was like kind of sparse and they didn't really
Yeah,
like hit on certain points. I
yeah,
mean, but that's just like how I would have talked about it differently, like but that's just me.
yeah. I can see that, but
It was kind of like quick to jump from
it was
oh
quick. But
her
if you
being
take into
mad because
account,
they didn't even really discuss the issue, you know?
well, the issue was the paying for college thing.
Yeah, but like he
But for Steve, that wasn't the issue. The issue was just her,
yeah,
or not issue, but the target was her.
yeah,
And if you take into account that whole last bit in '98, him from the start of that to everything he learns and changes over till he gets to talking with Lisa
yeah,
is a part of his conversation with Lisa. If you take everything he talked about and learned from before and add it to what little he says to Lisa,
yeah,
I think it works. It's just you don't get the resolve from Lisa's side.
yeah,
You see everything that he learns, but you don't see her giving the acceptance to him and all that. But
yeah.
we're
There's
gonna
like
get it at the end.
there's a sense of it, of course, because they kind of walk off together, but you know, it just wasn't all there. Like,
Yeah,
and then okay, the ending scene, the very end, where he like walks out onto the
he gets
stage
to
and
the
then
stage,
walks back
and
to
they
her.
like blast the Maccabees. Great song.
Dude, they were also what they were blasting was that freaking flash too.
Oh yeah, this is
all
the
all the camera
press.
flashes were going off.
Press, yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, whenever there's like a bunch of flashes in a film or like a video or whatever, it always like triggers me in some sort of way. I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's too much.
Epilepsy.
Um, but yeah, it was kind of a nice heartfelt moment where he gives her the little drawing that
Or
she did,
painting.
the pixel
I do.
painting, the abstract. That was he had it in his pocket,
Yeah. So that's an interesting question. So did he print that out in advance, or has he just always had that on him?
I want to believe that he's had it on him for a
I
while.
would like to believe that as well. From the moment he finally accepted her
Yeah,
as his daughter, he snatched it off the old Mac and
yeah,
carried it with him.
yeah. Because he's just like, hey, do you remember that thing that you drew me? And
I
then
do. I carried it every day.
yeah, basically,
Yeah.
and I think that was
For
also a nice
representation, I
moment.
think it's a very that also helps the character at the end.
Yeah, that helps the
Oh.
argument for the reconciliation.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought the walking out and then the walking back to her, like I was assuming that maybe he would bring her out onto the stage and be like, "Hey, this is like my daughter."
He was walking back to her though.
I'm sure that he was walking.
Or he was just walking like back and because on the stage you say you walk over or whatever.
Yeah, but
Once you walk over the other side, you say hello.
I
Or
want to
he was
believe that
just-
he was walking back to her to
I
bring
would
her
like
out.
to-
Maybe.
he really eyes her.
Yeah,
It's like he dead eyes her and he starts to go back.
yeah. I want to believe that he was going to bring her out.
Yeah.
For some sort of reason.
Never know. Up
Yeah.
for interpretation. This ending,
Which
though.
is good.
The bit that always like oh, that's a gut punch. It's like a almost shed a tear moment. Is when the lights are flashing and everything, and it shows Waz, and he's
Mhm.
just standing in the background, and he's got a little bit of a smile, and then it flashes back to them in the garage a bit,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
see him say Waz.
That
and I'm
was
like, oh,
that was a tearjerker
it's
for
my
sure.
heart. That's a really
That was
nice
definitely a
moment
tearjerker.
without any words. Yeah, that's a good moment.
Yeah. So
Good film.
you know what else is a tearjerker?
The end of the episode.
The end of episode 11.
Episode 11. We have
So-
to leave you to go watch Steve Jobs.
Go
directed
watch
by
it,
Danny Boyle, written by Aaron Sorkin, starring Michael Fassbender.
Mr. Fassbender.
It's
And
on
Kate
Netflix.
Winslet. Don't forget Winslet. She was
I
an integral
I didn't
part.
want to start name. Okay, we'll do it all. Kate Winslet.
Wait, I don't know all the names.
We got Jeff Daniels. We got Seth Rogen.
Those are the
and
important
others.
ones. Those are the
And
important
others.
ones.
Those are the most recognizable.
Yeah.
Go watch
Yeah.
it. It's on Netflix still. It's been on there for a long time. I don't know how much longer it's going to be on there. Everybody go watch it.
So yeah, we
and
have
then
to
let
wrap
us
this
know
up.
what you think.
And brain fart.
Brain fart.
So yeah, thanks for watching episode 11 and being with us on this nice adventure through the movie
Mind
of Steve Jobs.
The mind
And-
of Steve Jobs.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was a very cool movie, and we're gonna do more stuff like this, of course, like we've been doing.
We'll take a break from movies.
We'll take a break from movies for a bit.
Do you want to review the DG's songs? Or do you want to just listen to them and maybe chat about them in another episode?
Yeah, we can do that next week. We can just chat about them next week. We can kind of like listen to them and then
Instead of doing a full breakdown, since there's only like 5 songs.
yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, next week we'll do some talk about some music and
Talk about some music and some other things.
okay, talk about some music. Like the Foo Fighters, we're gonna have a concert this last
They were.
Saturday.
Oh, that's correct. You all would have been listening to this expecting us to be talking about the concert that we went to because you all keep in touch with everything we do. You
Of
stay to
course.
the end of the episode for us to mention these things. It was postponed till the 26th of August
Because of COVIDs.
because of COVIDs. No big deal.
No big deals.
I think they start their U.S. tour this week, and it would have started last week in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
at their home, but now it's starting. I don't know where it's starting, Midwest or somewhere.
Yeah.
But we can chat about that when it comes in August.
Yes.
We'll get there. Get there.
So
I'm
this
gonna
has
come back
been
till we get there.
the What Were We Talking About podcast with Hunter Lopp and Mark Grosjean, talking about Steve Jobs, episode 11. Thank you for tuning in,
Thank you.
and we love you. Peace.
And we love you. And we will see you next week.